I think we're gonna go ahead and transition to our last segment of the night, and that is um, the downfall of the Saints. So this is another conversation that I remember a lot of Snowfall fans were having. And actually, we can mix it up some. We can discuss the downfall of the Saints. We got two Saints. We got the St. Patrick's and the Saints from Snowfall. So what was the downfall of the St. Patrick's and what was the downfall of the Saints family? And when I say Saints family, Leon is included. And when I say St. Patrick, Tommy and them is included because all of them considered each other family. Mm,
Uh,
okay, so you said Franklin wanted to run everything after they all had their jobs and positions, and Ghost thinking he had it all under control. Two very interesting points. So to address the Franklin part, you saying him wanting to run everything. Um, I mean, I don't necessarily. I don't know if I can agree with that one because, to be honest with you, a lot of the times when it comes to any kind of operation, you need hierarchy going on. You need somebody, a chain of command, a person that's in charge. Because a lot of the times when too many people want to do things their own way, it always fall apart. And if you pay attention, really, although they still had hiccups, which in that particular, um, you know, game that they're in, you're always gonna have, situation that's gonna be popping out. That's just gonna happen. That's the life that you living in. It's like Ghost said, the effing circle of life. Take out one threat and then boom, here comes another one. So that's just how that's gonna be, no matter who it is. The thing that really counts is how you deal with it, how you move after the new threat has surfaced. So I don't think Franklin wanted to control stuff was the problem because he sort of needed to. Because you saw when Louis got her chance, what happened? Shit started falling apart. And then Leon, he also wanted to do things his way. What happened? Shit started falling apart. And the next one, you said Ghost thinking he had it all under control. I don't know if I'll say that was the source. The source of it was Ghost really go. I mean, shit, Ghost wanting to be with Angela. That's what I'd say it is. Because he kept on trying to fight. But then again, if you know, I know a lot of people disagree. Well, women more so. But if Tasha would have just believed in his dreams, maybe Angela never would have been a thing. Let's see what these comments saying, because a lot of them came through so far. Damn, they don't say a lot of shit. No, Obi eliminated the married couple, not Noma. Noma chopped off the hand, so I give her partial credit on that. That bitch was gonna die anyway. Franklin thinking everyone would always need him as was his downfall. That and the money. Also, not having your own bank account set up by yourself. Okay, so let me ask this real quick. This is still relatable. Was Louis wrong for you remember in episode 510, the finale of season 5, at the end, when Franklin was asking Louis to help him, set up Teddy because he stole all his money. Was Louis wrong for not cooperating? She's like, nah, this is my chance. It's my time. I'm not about to mess that up to try to help you. Was Louis wrong, or you know, was she right? Claudia eliminate Brandon Dahl, whoever that is. I don't know what that is. Being in the lead is fine, but know they rank and keep them in line like Tariq now. Which I think Franklin did do though. In my opinion, I think he did just that. He understood that Louis then was he let them control Inglewood and the other parts and stuff they were doing, and he didn't interfere with it. He just was like telling them when it was something that the whole operation as a whole, like if any changes like that was going on, he would intervene. But how they ran the parts that they control, he didn't really interfere with that unless they was doing something that was bad for business as a whole. Like another example, when Leon was trying to, you know, deal up in Manboy's territory, and Manboy, was trying to tell Franklin, that shit ain't right, which it wasn't. And he later on he didn't do it in front of Manboy, but later on, as we know, he checked Leon on that. So I believe he did let them run. Like he never interfered with how Leon was running the projects. He let him do it how he wanted to do it. St. Patrick's downfall, keeping Kanan alive in the first place, and Angie coming back in Ghost's life. That's a very strong point.
Oh because either much ghost, either much cold or fire overcame and burned him up and not checking, going back and make sure he was dead. That was a huge mistake he made.
Hmm. I think the reason why I say that's a good valid point is because a lot of stuff happened in relation to both of these things. Keep in mind the biggest things that happened in first season one popped off. If he would have just took out Kanan, then Kanan never would have been around to do all the hits and stuff that was happening in season one. So stuff would have been smooth probably for at least for a while. And then of course, Angie coming back in Ghost's life interfered with a lot of that shit because Ghost decided, after
Yeah, that's when because that's when Ghost made a mistake though, going in the hotel, taking off his glove after Mike Sandoval ended up murdering Greg Knox, Angela's boyfriend, to work for the federal agency.
but yeah, so I think you might have hit it on the nail, Slim, because those are the two. I would say those are two very very key and crucial moments that could have prevented the downfall. Because let's be real, what really absolutely destroyed the family was when Tariq shot Ghost. Now, whether or not Ghost died or not from that doesn't matter. Or actually, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I'll still make the bigger argument that the total downfall of the family was when Raina was killed, and that would have been prevented had
She
Kanan,
got shot
hold on, bro, stop
by
cutting me off.
Ray Ray.
Had Kanan not been around to manipulate, Tariq, then none of that other stuff would have escalated. So absolutely, Kanan being killed when Tasha told him to actually might be the biggest one. But I think they could have still recovered from the Angie situation if Kanan wasn't around. Because keep in mind, Tariq didn't like what was going on, but I think Kanan manipulating him kind of pushed them a little over the hump more than where he probably would have went had it just the situation would have been, Ghost leaving Tasha for Andy. So that's probably the biggest one. Ghost downfall was him getting with Angela. That's when everything kept going downhill. I think that's partially right, but I think the Kanan situation is bigger. Ghost was never going to shake his past at all. Saints downfall was Franklin trusting Teddy. Mm, that's huge. That boy, I think he cooked both topics. Yep,
Mm.
pretty much. Pretty much that's him trusting Teddy was basically because if he would have just tried to stay, you know, 3 moves ahead, as Kanan would say, and not trust him, putting his money up in his bank and shit like that, all of that could have possibly been prevented. So you might be just right with that. I'm gonna listen to what everybody else got to say. Franklin didn't want them bigger than him. I agree with that. He didn't, but I still don't think him trying to control it is what's the bigger issue. Trying to get out of the game, but bringing drug dealers around your family consistently was just dumb. The writing in book 2 was weird. After everything Obi did for Noma, she wouldn't give him no play. But then she got smashed in the kitchen by Kane and Davis. The personalities were so inconsistent. Was it weird? Yes, but I'm gonna say this: women do shit like that all the time. It could be a nigga that's giving his whole life for them, that'll jump in front of the train for them. This nigga can be Bruno Mars, step in front of a train for her, throw catch a grenade for her, and all that shit. They're still that play. So it was weird, but women do that shit all the time. They'll never pick the right nigga. The nigga that legit would do anything and carry them and be the best hubby they looking for. They don't want him. They want the bad guy, the nigga that's gonna play them, the nigga that got 10 bitches, the nigga that do all the money and you know typical Pookie and Ray Ray shit. That's the niggas they want. Ghost downfall was not giving Tariq a dirt nap. Well, he could have been whooping that nigga ass for sure. He should have never had his family in it and not prepared them. Well, I guess he was thinking that, the life would never catch up on him because of how he had it. Which, if Kanan didn't come and get involved, may have been the case. But he didn't. Kanan was still a factor. So I think ultimately it all goes back to Kanan being alive. No, Ghost was who he was, not Tasha Falk. Oh Lord, here we go. Here we go. So you telling me if Tasha would have supported his dream, and she instead of saying the biggest goddamn drug dealer in New York City, because keep in mind, the very last episode, when she asked him, "Did you ever love me?" and he said, "Yeah, I loved you, and a part of me still do, but you never loved this version of me standing right here in front of you. Remember, the biggest goddamn drug dealer in New York City. That's who the fuck you love." So the fact that he brought that back up years later like that mean that that sunk deeper with them. So in my opinion, I think that hurt Ghost a lot. And he was like, damn, this bitch really don't believe in me. She only see this side of me as a drug dealer. So basically in Ghost's mind, he was like, she thinks way too small. I think that's why he called her the half smart chicken head from the hood. Because she was smart, but at the same time, she couldn't see the bigger picture. And don't remember a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff, but be yapping. Mental illness honestly was plaguing Franklin and Ghost. Yeah, she was wrong with not setting him up because eventually Teddy would do her the same way. Okay, so you answering that question. Gotcha. Um, okay. Let me get a couple more um response to that before I respond. Tasha was the downfall of the St. Patrick family. Explain, Demarcus. I love the fact y'all men in here are truthful about Angela. She was a dream deferred. Hell yeah. That bitch was a problem. He should have never went to the hell. But Braden did snitch when he called law enforcement, just like Tommy did on Vladimir crew. Calling law enforcement is snitching. I mean, to a degree, I think that you can make a strong argument of that. But go ahead, support. You was about to say something?
Go ahead.
Okay. Um, Braden didn't even snitch on nobody on that phone call. The phone call was to help him and Tariq stay off the police radar. Yeah, yeah. With the Braden situation, he called. Let me see. He made the call to basically let them know that he heard some shooting in the parking lot, and basically that was for
Right.
the alibi. So yeah, that's not snitching. Hold on, I had to remember what happened.
Not Brayden is snitch.
Yeah, he didn't snitch. I gotta disagree, strongly disagree. That's not snitching. That's alibying yourself to keep yourself out of jail. In this game, you gotta be smart. Now, would they have worked the way they wrote that in, the way it worked? Probably not. But yeah, that's not snitching. Braden didn't even snitch on nobody on that phone call. The phone call was to help them. Okay, I just read that. Obi couldn't do nothing for it, no. How he couldn't do nothing for her? That man was her right hand man. The only one that actually was protecting her. Hold on, who is this sending me shit? Power book theories and thoughts. Who the hell added me to this? All right. Shit. Stop justifying Braden dry snitching just like Tommy did to Vladimir crew. To be honest with you, what Tommy did is it's kind of closer to it than what Braden did because Braden didn't snitch on nobody. He just let he just let people know that they heard gunshots so that he can alibi themselves so that they wouldn't get caught up. He didn't tell them no information about nobody. That's not snitching. Now Tommy, to a degree, and he kind of did the same thing. He just said an anonymous tip, basically. I mean, you can kind of make a case that that's snitching, but what Braden did, 100% no. You can't even explain how he dressed this. Yeah, he can't. I love Braden, but he was the cause of a lot of issues, Noah and Jaya. Braden gave no names at all and didn't even have to go for questions. Just because y'all said facts don't mean it's true because y'all be delusional as fuck and not whatever they. I believe that was what he put in her head, and she was stuck there. He played her mind too. Now I'm with all in. The reason she got with Ghost was because she was he was a drug dealer. She was holding him down through everything he was going through. Had his gun in her purse. So hold on, I'll never go against Tasha not holding him down. That's why if you remember when we had our last live, and one of the topics was should Ghost have gave her money? I said yes, because she held him down through thick and thin. Even when they weren't on good terms, Tasha held him down. So I'll never go against that. So I don't get where X coming from. If you were Ghost, if you were in Ghost's shoes as a parent, would you have taken the weight and went down for Ray Ray, or would you have preserved your own future and told Tariq to turn himself in? Damn, that's a good question, boy. Oh, damn. Damn. I don't know though. I'm gonna go with what Ghost's decision was. May have been the right one since he was lieutenant governor. Like he told him, circumstances changed. Because think about this. Like I agree with what he said. Let's say he did turn himself in. Because keep in mind, they didn't get close to, basically taking Tariq down until after he was already in politics. So if that was the case, like he said, if he would have turned himself in and said, I was the one who took out Ray Ray, they would have investigated that entire thing. That's what would have happened. And they probably would have dug deep and then found out, he had a criminal organization being going on. A Rico would have got spilled on them. They would have lost everything. So I think the better play would have been what Ghost was saying. Because when you lieutenant governor, you can make moves to basically, especially with Stephen Knight behind him, and we know how powerful Stephen Knight was. That nigga can snap his fingers and shit disappear. So if I'm in Ghost shoes as I'm the lieutenant governor, I probably would have went ahead and did it the same way he did. But with no lieutenant governor, my son's about to go down like that. Yeah, I probably would have turned myself.
I think they was gonna throw the book at Tariq anyway if he would have confessed on the stand.
No, they wouldn't.
I mean, exactly.
No, they wouldn't. Because if your motive was you took out if you had 100% proof that he took out your sister and you got revenge on your sister, you a minor, plus, like I said, you the lieutenant governor, they would have erased a lot of the evidence. They would have moved shit. Come on, bro. How many times we don't seen high level politicians get away with shit that they shouldn't have gotten away with if they were normal people? We don't see that shit happen a lot. So he could have moved some shit to make sure Tariq didn't get no real time.
He smoked law enforcement.
Okay.
Yeah, because Tyreek had smoked Ray Ray in the hotel.
We understand that. But like I said, you can
But he
spin when you control stuff like that, you can spin the narrative the way you want it to be. They could make up a story that he confronted them about the thing. Ray Ray tried to pull a gun and stuff like that. They could do anything and create a scenario to make it look like he wasn't in the wrong, and then, like I said, give him a slap on the wrist and get him out. It's very much possible. If he wasn't no governor or nothing, then sure, he would just been looked at as a regular nigga that shot up law enforcement, and probably would have tried to throw the book at him, even with the narrative of him killing the person that took out his sister.
Sad part is he didn't even give his father a chance.
Yeah, me personally, I think because like I said, if he would have turned himself in, that he still would have went down. And then on top of that, if they would have really, really looked into that, they because keep in mind, let's just go with the ones that love to say um Tariq can't be Kanan's son because of the 50% DNA match, right? So let's say that that's still in play. They would have ran that and be like, okay, it couldn't have been Ghost because after Ghost turned himself in, they would have ran that. They were like, okay, it couldn't have been Ghost because the DNA sample of the blood is only saying 50% match male. So that means it had to have been his son. They would have then issued a warrant to get blood drawn from Tariq. They would have got it drawn, tested it, and it would have been a 100% match, and his ass still would have went down. It's like Ghost said, I'm the head. So they once he goes down, everybody's gonna go down. Especially with him being into politics. They would have looked in on all of that shit because he's a very high political figure. Dan Ghost never believed in Tasha's singing career. Let that woman on stage to talk to Angela. Left that woman on stage to talk. Yeah, that was pretty foul. I ain't gonna lie. He did do that. That was really messed up, bro. Like he could have did. It was her birthday.
Not gonna lie, that whole lieutenant governor storyline had a lot of holes in it.
Right. And then you either much had Tate though was his downfall. And you know he was playing Ghost. Lied to him and say he was gonna be a Queen or Raina projects.
Okay, not saying that it didn't have any holes to support, but give me an example of some holes that you feel like was in the lieutenant governor story.
When it comes to when it comes to like Tariq taking him out, hear me?
So you saying Tariq shouldn't have been able to accomplish taking him out with him being a lieutenant governor?
I mean, I feel like if they was gonna have Tariq kill him, it should have been written better.
Well, the worst writing to me throughout Power, period, is the character development of Tariq St. Patrick. They never gave us anything close to enough for him to be raging the way he did to hate his dad and end up killing him. That it was nowhere near good enough. Now they did a much better job in raising Kanan. The reason why Kanan wanted Rock dead, because we actually seen her constantly lying to him, taking out people that he loved and shit like that. That it made a lot more sense. But Tariq taking out Ghost didn't make no sense.
You know, all the writers had to do to make Tariq hate Ghost was to have Ghost put his hands on him or Tasha, like have him full crash out mode. You remember he was crashing out over Raina dying, and he stabbed the drunk driver. You should have had him crash out more, build up the hate.
Right. And then and then Kane either much had 50 Cent breaking in people's houses for him. And then that's when they stole that flat screen TV out of there when they was upstairs, when Tyreek and the boy was upstairs playing video games. Because if the boy would have came down, he heard some noise and came saw him, he probably would have killed him.
Whatever happened to him?
Because they had. Oh, what you say again? You can go. I know you.
I was saying, whatever happened to the white boy?
Hold on, what white boy you
Oh,
talking
we ain't see.
The one that Tariq was friends with before Braden.
about? Oh, Calvin. I don't know. He just stopped showing the nigga. I mean, that's another thing about Power that kind of is a discredit to the writing. Is they do have characters that be on the show some of the time and they just disappear without giving them giving the character a closing to what's going on with them and the reason why we're not seeing them no more.
See,
and they don't get them their backstory. They just throw them up in there.
but Kenny, here's the thing. I mean, like, actually hit Tasha, not grab her against the wall. I mean, like, actually physically assault her.
I don't think Ghost was going to let Tariq go down for that at all. But this is why he died. And the whole plot was to launder money from a black prominent club owner. It would stand in court.
I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead. I'm just doing what she said.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is they should have had Ghost actually hit Tasha, like physically put his hands on her. That would have gave Tariq enough motivation to take him out. Cause when you think about it, he never really put his hand. He never really he never hurt her. He just grabbed her, pushed her against the wall. Remember? Yeah. I'm saying it should have developed Ghost's character more to where it feels like he deserved to die. That's all I'm saying.
That's one angle they could have kind of went towards. Anything more than what they did, or they found out something else foul that he did that Tariq end up discovering, or somebody could have finessed him, Tariq, into believing something about his dad that wasn't true, similar to how they did Kanan with Rock. But yeah, one thing's for sure is I think we all can agree that he didn't do enough for him to want him dead. Money is power. Ghost would have got most of the Tariq's charges dropped. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He would have gave him a slap in the wrist. With him having Stephen on his side and Simon Stern, bro, two very powerful figures, Tariq wasn't going down, bro. They would have been able to protect him.
Mm-hmm.
But if you openly admit to being a shooter of a cop, you do, then that's different because now they can't really protect you like that. They can still move the needle, maybe some, but it's totally different if the lieutenant governor himself, before he gets to get in office, admit to something like that, opposed to the son who actually did, and it wouldn't have worked because they would have shook the tree. They would have started shaking the trees to find out what else he done did. See, if they did that to Tariq, they would have came up empty. Tariq didn't really have nothing. Ghost had a lot of shit that they could have found out about. Totally agree. Ghost would have protected Tariq. Yeah. I said you shouldn't have gotten caught. Hey, you should have been that in the first place. You would have let me and your Uncle Tommy handle like you're supposed to. Yeah, he was already there, but that's the truth. Now Ghost as his snitched. called the feds and told them Tasha was selling drugs at the daycare. Yeah, that's that. Now that's straight up snitching, no way around it. That's straight up snitching. Tariq is a case of entitlement, but Ghost should have told him the truth to protect himself. Well, I think him telling them the truth would have. It seemed like the type of guy that Tariq is telling the truth. Absolutely would have made it play out better for him. Ghost put his hands on Tasha, blame Raina's death on Tariq, pulled the gun on him, left Angie, left for Angie, lied about who he really was, lied about Sean's death, snitched on Tasha and the daycare. All of that, it still wasn't good enough for him to want to kill him. Ghost would have never thrown Tariq under the bus. Also, to an extent, Tariq looked up to his dad and felt betrayed by him lying to him, and he lost respect for him with Angela. So he believed all Kanan told him about his dad. I mean, all of that is true. He did say he was gonna kill her though if she screamed. That threat is enough right there. What? Well, he didn't say him about that. No, he didn't. Ghost would have never thrown Tariq under the bus. Yeah. Domestic violence isn't politically correct. The writers wouldn't include that. Tariq had action at getting a reduced sentence for killing a dirty cop. The district attorney wouldn't been willing to make sentencing considerations to hide the illegal activity. He snapped on her, but like he didn't threaten to kill her. I don't know where that come from. She said I'll scream, but he didn't threaten to kill her after that. Where did that happen? I can pull that up. I don't recall that happening at all. That's episode 608. I mean 609. Scorched Earth. By the way, this is also one of my favorite scenes of Ghost and Tasha as well. Tasha, you lost your mind? Huh? I said you must have lost your mind. But if you got my son selling drugs out of that goddamn daycare, yo. That shit was funny as hell, bro.
Yep, and that was when Ghost called the cops on her.
Yeah, right after. Hold up, we gotta go to that because that shit was funny. That nigga wasn't playing. That was a funny ass shit, boy.
What the fuck, Ghost? You broke into my apartment?
Tasha, have you lost your fucking mind?
Excuse me?
I said you must have fucking lost your mind if you got my son in your fucking daycare moving weight.
Now
The man was on her ass, bro.
he's your son. Because just a minute ago, you were
I
shoving
mean,
a
Ghost
dick
would have that shit.
one of your corner boys that came up short.
Tasha, look me in my motherfucking eye and tell me that you don't have my son running product out of that damn daycare of yours.
He's not moving product through the daycare.
Yeah, I know I gotta do that pause action. Them copyrights be real.
What the fuck,
And
Tasha?
you know what? He's my child. So none of your goddamn business.
None of what you do gets him locked up or shot.
That's the point, Ghost. I'm making sure he doesn't get locked up or shot.
Tasha, that's
Speaking of which, since we own this, who is right here, y'all? That's another great question that we should add on to the end of this. Who is right in this situation? With, you know, Ghost obviously not wanting to, you know, accept Tariq as a, you know, in the game, and you know, letting him live what he want to live, and of course Tasha accepting it and just trying to, you know, help him do it so that she can make sure he does it the right way. You don't have to get your answers right now because I'm gonna finish this up, but like people in the chat, if you want to go throw out your answers, that's fine.
bullshit.
No. What's bullshit is us thinking that we could change Tariq or somehow turn him into something he's not. Okay? I've accepted the truth. You should too.
You know what? This isn't even about Tariq. It's about you. Tasha, if you don't fucking get your shit together, I'm gonna get your business shut down, and then I'll take your ass away from you for good.
Oh no. See, hey, that's another thing. Them folks scenes was always cold, bro. When they were into it, they scenes was cold. They had some really good chemistry.
Are you fucking threatening me? Nigga, you better watch your every move. Because I will tell the feds you killed Terry Silver because I know you did. I'll tell them everything.
No, you won't.
Cool. Try me, nigga.
Let me pull up the caption because he said he threatened her. I don't recall him threatening her.
Get off me! Get off! I'll fucking scream.
Yeah, he didn't say nothing to her. He didn't threaten her. I knew it because I don't seen this scene too many times. I actually did this scene in acting class because I loved it so. So yeah, he didn't threaten her.
And he didn't even rough her up that bad.
If
He
you ever
told him by saying, "If you ever put your hands on me again, I'll kill you."
put your hands on me again,
What?
I will fucking kill you.
We already lost one kid, Tasha. Don't you ever motherfucking forget it. If Tariq dies, his blood is on your hands. Your hands.
One of my favorite scenes, man. But yeah, he didn't threaten her. Now that we can move on, we proved that he never threatened her.
Who talking?
She said, "I'll scream," and he threatened her. No, you're right. I just watched the same. See, please play the finger part. I just did. That's as funny as that. Yo, if Kareem dies, his blood is on your ass. Your ass. Anyways, though, I wouldn't have blamed Tate if he killed Ghost the way he got verbally abused. That's a fact. Him and Dre. He manipulated her to take out Lakeisha too. Think about it. He played mind. No, Alan, we can't throw that on him. He didn't tell her to do that.
Hey
He was
Jay. Sorry.
he was telling her to go over there and talk to her because they were good friends. And he was like, I'm not gonna be able to talk to her because she's afraid of me. If he wanted her dead, he would have went over there and handled it himself and got rid of the body, and Tommy never would have found out nothing. But that wasn't the case. Keep in mind, Ghost never touched or wanted to touch anybody that Tommy loved. Now, did he manipulate Common to taking out his dad? Yes, because that fool was a snitch. But go ahead, support.
I was gonna say highlight Takari's comment.
Which one? I probably ain't made it to it yet.
The one at the end.
Hold on, let me give me a chance to catch up real quick on these numbers. I'll go to it. Legs crossed. Why would James St. Patrick hit Tasha if he was running for lieutenant governor? So I'm guessing your both comment right here, Ollie, is you saying that they both was right about the situation with Tariq. The emotions were high and they didn't try to fix it. I'm gonna get your business shut down. Don't say that to a mother. Take who kids. Hey, women say that to us all the time. Let's not do that. They trying to take the kids from us. You ain't taking my kids. Ramona ain't raising my kids. Ramona would be a perfect example for that. You ain't taking my kid. Of course I can. You a drug dealer. Ghost was on her ass, bro. Ghost was on her ass. He had to shake that off. Look at his face. A parent, is this the one you're talking about? Where he say a parent should never support a child's illegal activity?
Yeah.
Okay. You should meet better. You should want better for them and try to keep them out of the harm's way. I 100% agree with him with that. I just wanted to know what was everyone else's opinion and where they stand on that. Like I also understand where Tasha was coming from because she felt like he was gonna do it anyway and end up getting killed. But this is another dynamic situation of where Ghost and Tasha wasn't on the same page, and Ghost was trying to tell her, let's do this, and she went the other way and did that. Maybe he never did this before. She got scared because she know he crazy. Yeah, I don't think he ever touched her before either. But at the same time, I don't think Tasha ever did nothing to put one of their childs in harm's way before either. But if we in it, we in it. Like Monet, it's a family business. So okay, y'all got me with a lot of topics that I can tap into for the next one. Cause that's another one that can definitely be had. Which one was who raised their children the best, basically, between you know what I'm saying, between Ghost and the St. Patrick's or Monet and the Tejadas. Because keep in mind, one kept their family out of it, and the other ones, you know, put their family in it.
Mm.
Mm. But if we in it like Monet said. Monet, her kids knew what.
Yeah, because I see Ghost. I see Ghost try to keep his son Kane out of it because he didn't want him to be in the drug game.
Well, I'm gonna say this too. The Tejada situation was a little different because they wasn't living as large as Ghost was because Ghost was doing so well that he was able to live in plain sight and still be moving, pushing product. He was pushing in plain sight and nobody knew what was going on. So he was able to move them to an area where, they could be safe and never have to worry about their life. The Tejadas, I don't think, never got to that level. But at the same time, though, all the expensive shit them folks had, maybe they cut off on some of that cost, they would have. Them niggas, all that damn Louis Vuitton, them folks used to have on them luxury cars and all that. Like Unique and Kanan said, they was in it before they were born. I mean, that yeah, that's true. But at the same time, you should always want best for you. Keep in mind, Rock didn't want Kanan in it at first, though. But at the same time, though, like Kanan said, she really didn't want him in it. She should have just moved him down to their grandma. I think it was, but I think that was more so because Rock didn't want to be away from her child that much. So that's why she wanted to keep him around, but not necessarily have him in the game. Yeah, exactly. They were hood rich. May have been for them to be, but hey, I just don't think I could put myself. See, Ghost plan though was get out of the game eventually, and them kids will never know nothing about it. But
Right. But every time Ghost,
I will also say that if that was the angle that he wanted to go with it, then Ghost should have absolutely killed Kanan to make sure he can't circle back and cause trouble later, like he did.
What
right. Because every time Ghost be trying to get out the game, it just calls him right back in.
what Ghost should have did was cut ties with Tommy and Kanan a long time ago.
Because every time when Tommy though get in danger and Ghost have to come back and clean up the mess for him. Cause he done saved him from Milan and turned around and they both had killed his mans and Tommy and Ghost took Milan in the garage. They shot him in the head. Because Tommy, he needs Ghost. Because Tommy don't think straight.
But if Raina lived, would she be like Tariq against Tasha? Uh, that's a good question. I think it depends because especially when it comes to stuff like that, a lot of the times the daughters do tend to go against their mothers. That do happen a lot, and I think this case would be no different. So I would say yes, especially if Raina was to find out that she was smashing Sean. I think that would have turned her into a different, possibly brought out her inner ghost and made it pissed her off. And it also would have pissed Tariq off too, but I think Tariq probably would have been more forgiving to her than Raina would have been because Tariq was a mama's boy and Raina was a daddy's girl.
No, that's crazy. Imagine both your kids hating the parents.
Yeah, it would be.
Raina would have went to Choate like Angela and had got good grades. Tariq would have still been selling drugs. That's what I think.
Hmm.
Right.
Well, why is you still on here? You got to do the morning show. That's a fact. I'm about to really get up off here.
This is the morning show.
Well, Shay Wu was actually right, but I wanted to give Ali a chance to, to give her response to, the question she asked. But yeah, I'm definitely. I've been on here for 3.5 hours. But see, I suppose I had a live, the other days and stuff, so I want to hold it a little longer to make up for the time that we didn't we didn't do the other day.
I mean, it's not a problem. I mean, you got to get your rest. Huh? Say
So
something.
nah, I didn't say anything. Any last questions and remarks and stuff like that people want to give before I get up off here? We already did Ghost versus Franklin. Franklin is from Snowfall.
Okay, this isn't power related, but what about that show you was filming or those episodes you was filming?
I got another episode that I should be dropping soon, but I just got to make sure I do. I got some marketing and stuff like that set up right because once I drop that one, I want to quickly start promoting for the movie that I'm trying to shoot and to raise more money for it. So I got to make sure everything's set up for it. Right.
Right.
Who cared about Kanan more, Ghost or Tariq? Hmm.
I would say Tyreek cared about Caden more because he had him out there on the street selling drugs for him.
I
It's
mean,
kind of
And either much teaching him again.
they both set him up.
Yeah, because when the police stopped and pulled him over, and Kane either much told him to take the kid, and you see Kane either much was had a shootout with them cops while Tyreek sitting in the back of the police car. Because Tarsha was the one set him up, her and Tyreek, so they had that plan.
It's crazy how you get set up the same way twice by the same person.
I ain't gonna lie though. That was a good ass plan Tasha put on his ass. Yeah. I'm gonna say I don't know. I think it is very close because you got to think about it. Um, in the earlier, at least in the earlier years, we know Ghost must have cared about Kanan a whole lot. Now, maybe towards the end, we can make an argument that Tariq cared more. Tariq set him up to die. Ghost set him up to go to and still took care of him and his son. That is true. That's a strong argument because Tariq knew he was gonna die, but at the same time, Tariq circumstances was different. Tariq, keep in mind, he had to choose between his mom or Kanan, and we know, like he told us in book 2, he gonna always choose her first.
Yeah, and Kanan would have did the same thing for Rock, at least before season 4.
Yep, he would have chose her too, even over one of his best friends. Like I'm pretty sure if that been Famous, he had to choose. If, let's say Famous was the same type of dude as Kanan. Let's say Famous was out there murking people. He was a bad guy. He was a drug dealer, but he had the same love that he has for Famous. But the difference is Famous is a drug dealer that did all that Kanan is doing. I think Kanan would have made that same decision. But anyways, I'm about to go ahead and wrap this up, people. We had 3.5 hours, basically 3 hours and 40 minutes for the most part. Once again, like I always, thank everyone for coming in. I gotta be good to prep up for this morning show that I'm gonna be doing at 10. So, all y'all that's coming through there, I'll see you in the morning. And for the other ones that maybe catch the next night live, I'll see you then. But until then, I'm gonna holler at y'all.
Peace.
Salute.